Welcome back. Three more names are on deck to report earnings after the bell. Of course, Nvidia, but also Synopsis and Snowflake. And there's a lot to talk about with all of these trades. So we turn to none other than Danielle Shay. She's Vice President of Options at Simpler Trading. It's great to see you again, Danielle. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to see you.
I can't wait to find out what you're thinking about Nvidia. It's up 200% over the past year. The street's expecting them to crush it again. I mean, the revenue growth alone, they're like tripling revenue to 24 billion. I don't know if that's ever been achieved in history, but the real question obviously is, can they beat the whisper? Can they keep the market and the shares going, or are you positioning for a downside surprise?
So here's the thing with Nvidia, Kelly. I look at the patterns and I trade the trend, and Nvidia has beat earnings 12 out of the last 12 quarters. We've seen a major gap up, specifically last quarter. So that does bode well for bullish traders. But I will tell you that we have to be cautious because, of course, this is the most highly anticipated report and the move could be priced in. When I look at the price, we have an implied move in the options market of about $72. So for me, with the stock sitting at about $9.50, I think it's relatively conservative to target $1,000 a share. So I am going to be placing some bullish trades there in the options market. But I also think that it's worth having a little bit of a hedge and watching the support levels on the downside.
So you'd be leaning towards a bullish strategy here, not one, because we heard from Jeff Kilberg the other day. He said, I'm a little more focusing on that 850 level, thinks it can't live up to the hype.
Well, when you look at this stock and you look at what you can do with the options market, what I like to do is I like relatively conservative bets at critical price targets. So in this example, I'm going to be placing some bullish butterflies with a $1,000 price target. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll often place a bearish butterfly as a hedge as well. So for me, I'm looking at the 880 price target. I think that right at the 50 simple moving average is a pretty critical support zone. But I'll tell traders that if we do get a surprise in Nvidia and we see that this move is already priced in, where you need to be concerned is if it's down probably about more than $100 a share because that expected move is $75. So once we get especially, below 850, that would be a spot where I would say, you know what? I was wrong. This move was priced in and we need a hedge. Well, you needed a hedge previously on this stock, right?
All right, I will reluctantly move on. We, of course, will find out in a couple of hours' time what exactly Nvidia has to say. We should also mention Synopsis. I mean, they're spinning off the software unit into a $2 billion deal. Analysts keeping an eye on how they plan to reinvest those funds, on any IP growth updates on tonight's call. Do you have a trade on this one, Danielle?
Yes, Kelly, I like this stock because, again, it's incredibly consistent. This company regularly beats EPS estimates, and we've seen the company trade higher on a regular basis as well. If you look at a weekly chart pattern, we have a nice trend. We have a bullish squeeze, and I think that ultimately the stock can trade up into 660, 700. But with the expected move over earnings, it's only about $42. So I think a relatively conservative price target with this stock is going to be around $600 a share.
All right, then we will move on to Snowflake as they, the race to develop AI overall is ramping up. And JMP says, keep a close eye on Snowflake's reported plans to acquire Rika AI. Snowflake has been a volatile one over the years. What would you do with this stock, Danielle?
So, Kelly, traders always want to bet on the stock to the long side, but the data just doesn't support it. They've only beat EPS estimates 4 out of the last 12 quarters, and half the time the stock is up and half the time it's down. So what I actually tell my traders is this stock is a total coin flip. But here's the story with it. It can move a lot post-report. We're seeing a priced-in move in the options market of about 9%, but 7 out of the last 12 quarters, it's moved more than 10%, and it generally keeps going. So I'm telling my traders to look out for a move of greater than 10%, specifically if we can see a breakdown below 145 or a breakout up above 180. That's likely a move that you can trade post-report on an explosive move.
I will let you go, but would you, this overall sounds neutral-ish to me. Would you say that's kind of describes your position on the broader market right now?
When you look at the broader market, I am bullish on the broader market. Obviously, we've just made new highs, but everything is highly dependent on Nvidia. Here's the thing is that if Nvidia can prove that this share price is valid, then we could see the market continue exploding higher here. So I'm focused on the semiconductors, I'm focused on the mega cap names, and I'm continuing to trade tech to the long side.
Danielle, Shay, great to see you again. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
It's going to be a fun afternoon. Still ahead, from shipping to streaming to shopping, Amazon